7 years ago, I sent myself a letter, and today, it finally arrived.
Dear me. So, how's it going? Are you in high school now, or what? Did you get accepted to Central High School training in martial arts? Don't go off your way to becoming an instructor. Still keeping track of what you eat. So, how's family and friends? That weight you're prioritizing family first. I think by now you should have your standing splits in your 540s. Are you in honors at all? Even 720s. What about exercise? Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Well, that was a lot. I think there's just something bittersweet about getting a letter from your younger self. Like, yes, it's cute, but also not really. It's kind of a big yikes.
To tell you the backstory, when I was in the 8th grade, my homeroom teacher told the entire class to write a letter to their future selves, and she promised that she would send it out to each and every one of us whenever the time was right. I remember how nervous I felt writing this letter because I was afraid that my teacher would read it. I would sprinkle secret keywords all throughout my letter, questions about my weight, body, image, and I just can't help but think, like, why did this little girl feel this way, and why did she have these kind of expectations for her future self? You know, they say it's a good thing if you cringe whenever you look back because it just means that you've grown as a person. I cringe so much whenever I look back at this and just any younger version of myself, and I just wish that there was a way to talk to her, you know, and give her the advice and love that she needed. But even if there was a way, I wouldn't really know what I would say.
I usually have a hard time narrowing down my thoughts, especially if it's for something that's important and meaningful to me. So I figured it'd be a better idea if I went to my friends first and asked them the question.
If you had a chance to talk to your younger self again, what would you say to them?
How young are we talking?
What age?
What age?
Talking to?
Whatever age you need to talk to.
Yeah, that's a good point because we can always write letters to our future self, but we can't do things the other way. And what I would tell him in retrospect.
I think this is very trite, but don't be too hard on yourself. Being unique is good, being weird is good, and it's good to be different. And the fact that that's looked down upon is not my younger self's fault.
As much as you want to fit in with the other Filipino kids, as much as you want to be this musician, you don't need to fit into any of those things to be yourself because those groups do not define you.
Yeah, I would just say to listen to herself because it's like growing up in like an immigrant household, you feel like you have like this pressure to like be some sort of image that other people like want you to be.
I would also tell myself that I have time, there's no rush. I know that when you're younger, it's easy and it feels natural and comfortable to reach out and ask other people for help and ask other people for guidance, especially those who are older than you, adults around you.
I was like being stubborn or like not being obedient to like my parents or my family or whatever. They would make me feel like some type of way. I would just tell her to like not feel guilty about that because at the end of the day, I'm just living for myself and I still am.
And don't let anybody stomp all over you because you might be young, but you're also really wise. You have more power than you think.
I know that you feel very sad and confused because you don't know what's going on. You're not told any of this, and I just hope that you know that you're gonna be okay, that it's going to clear itself up in the future, that you will at some point understand, even though you can't understand right now.
I think the biggest thing would just be to encourage him to continue on the path that he's on, because I now know that everything I was doing was the right thing, even if it didn't feel right or there were mistakes or whatever. Like, it got me to where I am. Keep doing what you're doing. Whatever feels right is the right thing, and you'll get to where you need to go. I think that's what I would say.
Man, this is just really hard. You know that feeling when you have everything in your head, but it's just really hard to put it out on physical paper? Yeah.
I think the main problem here is that it's been so long. Like, who even is this girl that I'm writing to? I think what I need to do is
get to know my younger self better before I can actually know what I want to write and say. So here's what I'm thinking. Maybe if I just relive my 8th grade years and put myself in that sort of mindset, I'll start to remember and understand where I'm coming from. I guess it's worth a shot. Memories can come back in various ways. It can be through the taste of a home-cooked meal, flipping through old photographs, or listening to old stories. And to relive them, I knew exactly where to start. Y'all, this is my holy grail. This is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, my favorite series when I was in middle school. I mean, who didn't go through a Percy Jackson phase when they were younger? Let me know. Personally, my favorite way to relive these stories is through Audible. You see, I had forgotten how much those audiobooks meant to me back in middle school. The laughter, the thrill, the sense of wonder, they were all there, hiding in the corners of my mind, but Audible had a way of unlocking these hidden memories. As I continued listening while reading along, I realized something special. The memories weren't just about the story itself, but the moments I shared with my friends. I recalled the walks home from school with them where the Percy Jackson audiobooks had become our adventure. I remembered the sleepless nights lost in the world of Camp Half-Blood. That's why I'm so excited to be partnering with Audible this holiday season. Sharing an audiobook or a title with a friend is one of my favorite ways to just reconnect and reminisce over shared memories. You can give your friends the gift of Audible's incredible library filled with hundreds of thousands of audiobooks in every genre. Members get 1 credit each month that's good for any title that they wish. So if you're looking for an audiobook that'll take you or your friend back in time, then you can try Audible for free for 30 days at audible.com/anniedang, or you can text anniedang to 500-500. Again, thank you, Audible. Good thing I still remember my old password, because to continue reliving these moments, I'm logging back into my old digital journal. You see, I was not ready to read through my thoughts from 2014. If that letter from earlier was hard to read, well, this journal is a field trip to Mars for me. Yes, I find my journals hard to read sometimes, yet I've always found that I'm a lot more likely to make the same kind of mistakes in the future if I don't reflect on those old entries once in a while, to think about what I was thinking and feeling at the time versus now, what I still agree with, what I don't agree with, what I've learned and still need to learn. It honestly feels so weird reading into these entries because it feels like I'm looking into the life of a whole different person, even though I've lived out these experiences myself. But bruh, she was so over dramatic. It would have been nice if she could just take, a little chill pill and relax. This is one of those moments where I really wish I had an older sibling growing up to learn from and to remind me that, like, hey, it's not the end of the world if certain things are happening and you have no control over it. And at the same time, it's also like admirable because I was figuring this out all on my own. From what I'm reading, like, she's trying her best. She's doing what she can with what she knows, and I'm starting to understand her a lot more, and I feel for her. But at the same time, I feel like there's still a little more digging that I need to do in order to understand myself even better. For 21 years, I lived under the same roof with my grandparents. It wasn't until 2 years ago that I moved away from home. Life started shifting and moving at a different pace. You grow out of your old molds and find it uncomfortable to squeeze back into where you came from. So I figured it was a good time to go back and visit. So this is my childhood bedroom. It's gotten kind of dusty in here, and my grandparents started using this as a storage room. It's kind of cluttered in here. I'm getting kind of emotional being in this room because just everything is coming back to me now. Like, I used to stay up late playing video games in here. My first YouTube videos were made here. All my heartbreaks were spent crying in here. Just good and bad memories all here. Like, I can just feel her in this room, and just all the things I've gone through, all the things that I've learned, it's just coming back, and I think I know exactly what I would say to her. Dear younger me, I remember when I was your age, I used to dream of sitting down at a coffee shop with future me and asking them all these questions. Well, this is no coffee shop, but I hope that's okay.
There are plenty of things I wish I knew earlier, things I've only come to know now that it makes me wonder if life would have been any different if I had known these things earlier. I wish you knew that love wasn't a competition, that it didn't need to be earned, that you didn't need to be skilled or do more for people to love you. Love is abundant and there is plenty for you. You don't have to worry about it ever going away. I wish you knew to not take things so seriously. Sometimes we get so tunnel visioned into our thoughts, emotions, and goals that we forget to live in the moment, or we don't take a step back to look at it from a different perspective. Eventually, you'll learn to protect your energy and give it to the things that actually matter. I wish you knew that everything is temporary. Up until now, everything I thought would stay the same has totally changed. I'm pursuing a whole different career, I don't have the same friends, and I'm not the same person. Maybe then you wouldn't let fear own you and you wouldn't take the little things for granted. Last but not least, I wish you knew that I am proud of you. I know you don't hear it enough at home, and because of that, you're always looking for validation elsewhere. Crazily enough, it doesn't matter what you do. You're gonna make so many mistakes, fail hundreds of times, but you know what? I'm still proud of you. If you didn't make the mistakes you did, well, I wouldn't be here. So maybe if you knew this, you wouldn't be so worried about the future. But yes, everything you do will be enough, and everything will be alright in the end. Love your future self. Well, that wasn't so hard now, was it? All that digging, that self-reflection, for this. You know what they say, you lose yourself in the things that you love, but we also find ourselves there too.